looking at here today is a 52-inch Hunter Spectrum ceiling fan. This fan here dates to 1993. Pretty cool fan overall here. The Spectrum is more of a contemporary fan that Hunter offered in the early 90s. These originally came with remote controls. Unfortunately for this fan's case, the remote control went missing. That's why it probably was replaced in the first place, and that's how I ended up with it. What I ended up doing with it is I took a 3-speed pull chain system out of a 3-speed Hunter fan, 52 inch, since they all use the same capacitor values and such. And just hot wired it straight to high speed. And right now I'm using the fan off of a 3-speed wall control with a light switch. Here's what the light looks like on there. Pretty cool fan, like I said before. The fan is in a gunmetal finish with polished brass accents. The rings on the fan are polished brass. Everything else is gunmetal on the fan, which I've hardly ever seen. Most of the time you see these and they're in the brushed chrome, not in the gunmetal. So this is kind of more of a harder to find finish in these things, even though these are pretty hard to find fans altogether. The blades are high gloss black. They are reversible to high gloss graphite, I believe that's what they were called. It's like more like a marble-ish finish, grays, black, so it's like a mixture. It's pretty interesting. I would use that finish on the bottom side, but the brass kind of clashes with it, so I decided to use the black instead. So let's go and get this thing started. This will be low speed here. The reversing switch for this fan is, since I added one, is in the switch housing. If you want to reverse, you just have to take the switch housing loose and flip the switch and the fan will reverse. These Hunter fans, the remote receiver was basically designed to fit inside of the switch housing. That's why the switch housing on these is a little bit longer than normal Hunter switch housings, because they were designed to fit right inside the switch housing. The antenna receiver actually is still on top. So if I was able to find a remote control, I could easily, reinstall it or whatever. But finding a Hunter remote control is not really like pulling hen's teeth, but it's rather difficult to say the least. So it'll likely stay just a wall controlled fan for now. So low speed on this wall control is a little bit fast for average. Not too bad. We'll take it up to medium. Fan's got a bit of a hum to it when it runs, but otherwise it's pretty quiet. Bearings on it are still in good shape, so it don't make much noise, if any. The blades on the fan are a little bit droopy, thanks to the rubber grommets Hunter always likes to use in the 80s and 90s, and even today. They still use them same shoddy grommets. So I guess they insist that they are good, which they probably are, but once they dry rot and wear over time, they ride loose on the blade. The blade no longer sits tight on the bracket, and it causes it to droop like that, or cause the fan to wobble, just causes problems. And here's high. And it doesn't help the fact that the fan was sitting on the blades when I bought it. So that of course messes things up. The previous owner never decided to go the extra mile to take the blades off. They just took the whole fan down since they're lazy, which is what always happens. But that ran aside. It is a pretty nice running fan. The blade pitch on this fan is around 12 degrees. probably doing around 180 RPMs on high, so it's not a bad air mover. For my bedroom air, it's, you know, just fine. Probably will never use it on high unless it's bare hot in the summertime. Gonna show you what the light looks like on once again. And we're going to power the fan off. The light kit on this fan was originally halogen as well. I've always never been a big fan of halogen bulbs since they are very fragile and they burn out rather easily. So I decided to replace it with a standard base socket and just use an LED bulb. It's bright enough for in here for what it needs to be. So probably definitely not as bright as what it would have been with a halogen lamp in it, but it is what it is. It's, like I said, it works for me, so it's all that matters. But a pretty cool fan nonetheless. Definitely been a fan I've been halfway after, and this one finally popped up on Marketplace a couple weeks ago, and I picked it up. As far as I know, these are available in white. Like I said, the brushed chrome one, which is probably the most common one seen. And this one here is a gunmetal and brass. I believe they also made them copper, probably brass and copper. I don't really know, but you know, they're all contemporary fans with those weird finishes like that. It's hard to tell what all these finishes they came unless you'll find them in a catalog. The lighting in this room isn't the best, so you probably can't see. You really can't see the brass details on the fan that much, but they're there. And there you go, folks. There was the 52-inch Hunter Spectrum ceiling fan in gunmetal and brass from 1993. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. And like always, we'll be seeing you next time.